we work very well together. I think we are a pretty good, balance. We often throw things by each other, and sometimes that's the best way of coming to an agreement of what we should do. Brian's pretty open with the media about what he thinks. He's open with our players about what he thinks. Sometimes that comes back and it's not taken the right way, and people will come to me to ask my opinion. But I think people are starting to understand what Brian Burke's about. He's not going to say things that he doesn't mean. Sometimes it might be taken the wrong way, but if you dig deeper, I think it's pretty clear what message he's trying to get out.
Tell us a little bit about your game plan at this point. Obviously, you inherited a situation here where contracts are as they are. You've got some unrestricted free agents that you're dealing with. We don't want to speculate on who's trading. I'm not fishing for information in that regard. More so, the rebuilding side of things. And I mean, it's really your job to be communicating with the scouts and figuring out who's out there when you're rebuilding. Tell us a little bit about the process, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, we've spent the better part of the last 2 months trying to get to know our staff, know our players, and now we're starting to look at what's available, whether it's in an upcoming draft or drafts or pending free agency, and that's what we're going to tackle between now and June. The rebuilding, it's going to take some time. I mean, we do have some pieces here. We do have some prospects that are looking better than maybe we thought early on. But we're not in a situation where we're loaded with prospects, whether on our reserve list or with the Marlies, and we're going to have to improve both of those if we want to have a chance to take a run at it.
And you've been covering more ground than just Canada or even North America in terms of checking out who's out there.
Yeah, we've spent some time overseas. It's a pretty good crop of players, both in North America and Europe. There's going to be some good players picked in this year's draft, and we definitely want to make sure we have them all covered. So we spent some time over there. Our scouts have spent some time over there. We're going to spend a lot more time here in North America down the stretch with the colleges coming to a close here shortly. See if there's any free agents there that we can pick up, and then prepare for the draft with whoever might be sitting at the spot that we end up sitting at in the draft table in June.
Do you have a vision in terms of between you and Brian, or even something that you might share publicly, that a timeline of any kind when it comes to the rebuilding process? I know that's something that was sort of thrust into the spotlight the day you arrived here, which is impossible to look at. But do you, using your hockey philosophies, look at this and say, this is a sort of a 5-year, 10-year plan?
Well, I don't think it's a 10-year plan. So we can hopefully knock that one off the list. But it is going to take some time. Are we looking at 2-3 years? I think that's probably a reasonable number, but I don't even know how that's going to turn out. If you look at what we have and what we need to get, and I think we all agree we need to do a good job at the draft table. Well, a player that we pick, this year in June, more than likely won't be a major factor for at least 2 or 3 years. Now, Luke Schenn stepped in and been able to do it at 18, but most players selected are going to take 2 or 3 years before they have any kind of real impact. We're probably looking at least that time before we're able to see significant improvement. I do think, like I said, we have some players that are on the reserve list that are better than maybe we thought. We do have the opportunity to sign some free agents that may pop up, and I think we can start the process, but it's not something that's going to happen overnight. And for us to do it the right way, we're going to have to take our time, or we're going to end up being a mediocre team instead of being a team that wants to challenge for the cup.